All right, folks, back on the Bossman show in front of the show. You see him on the screen there, Coach Rob Jones, Norfolk State, got big in the Marcus Howard. Good to talk to you, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. There's another season. Happy to be here.
No doubt, man. Hey, you doing great so far, man. 13-8 on the year, 61 at home, 31 in the MEAC. So for you, Coach Rob, man, kind of give me your assessment of the year so far, man. How you feel about your team, man, for what you've accomplished these first 21 games so far?
I mean, it's crazy, man. 21 games that went by fast. We only got 10 left at this point, plus the MEAC tournament, hopefully some postseason play. But um, through the first 21, of course, I'm as a competitor going to say that we should be, even better than what 13 and 8, because I think there's some games that we dropped that we probably shouldn't have dropped. But also at the same time, with a relatively new team or people in new roles, I should say, 13 and 8 against some, we had some good wins against James Madison, High Point. We stuck in there against Tennessee and stuff like that. So we had some good games in the non-conference. So I guess I should be pleased with where we at right now.
Coach Rob, you kind of read my mind. I want to ask you about that. You were competitive at Stanford, at Baylor, at Tennessee. Coach Barnes does a heck of a job. Number one team in the country right now. My cousin on their team. Lanier's on their team as well.
Mhm.
So talk about your team battling against these tough opponents, these powerful conferences, and your guys stood in there and what you do schematically, how your guys play hard as heck, man. It really acquitted themselves very, very well.
Yeah, man. Like a game like against Stanford is one of the games that I'm mad that we shouldn't have got, that we should have got. Like that should have been win 14 right there. Like we battled all the way to the end and just kind of lost it in the end a little bit. But yeah, just it's an ACC team obviously, and they had some ACC wins and things like that. So it just shows what kind of team we had. And of course with Baylor was a great first half. It was probably a great 5 minutes in the second half too, and then things kind of fell apart. But once again, Baylor's the top 25 team, and then with Tennessee being number one in the country at the time we played them. I mean, that was a game throughout. So that was like, throughout the whole game, we were in there battling tooth and nail. And it was good to see like what kind of team that we can be if we really put it all together. And also, we're playing a team like Tennessee, Baylor. If you're fortunate enough to get into the NCAA tournament, it's like you shouldn't be like it's not going to be a shell shock because you already kind of played those kind of teams already.
It kind of read my mind, Rob. I said I was had on my list here to talk to you about like playing those games, prepare you for if you were 16 seed or 15 or 14 seed, hopefully that you don't have to play the play-in game. That hey, you can compete with this team because you've done it already. Could have won on Stanford, played with Baylor,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't be a shock to your team in March if you win the MEAC. So say, hey, you've already done this before. I kind of like you just mentioned right there.
No, without question. It's like a dress rehearsal. You know what I mean? For the NCAA tournament. So, like I told the guys, we didn't necessarily pass our dress rehearsal the first time, but hopefully it gave us a good just a good standing of where we at. And now if we're able to do it again, I think that we can be okay in those kind of settings.
And you had a Christmas break here, man. So let me ask you, Coach Rob, like how you use that to kind of rest and recover your guys and kind of also do some self-scouting a bit with you and your staff, kind of trying to figure out what to refocus on as the MEAC gets started here.
Yeah, the MEAC schedule is very unique now with only 8 teams trying to stretch it out the whole season. So we get a break. We had a break in conference play. I forgot the last time we played conference game. A week or two ago, whatever we played. But we did have a non-division one Washington Adventist, which we kind of filled in so we could stay in game rhythm a little bit. But after we play Howard, then we don't play Monday, and then we play Saturday, Monday. Do we get another break? Like we say, All-Star break. Try to retool and get things together. So it's almost like two All-Star breaks in the schedule now, being there's only 8 teams in the conference. But yeah, was able to retool, kind of get a little rest, which we need, and I think every team kind of needs, get healthy. And so it's good. You want to play as much as you can, but at the same time, I guess some rest is needed. So it was good to get a couple extra days of rest that we normally wouldn't have.
Now, do you plan on adding another game? I was asking you about that too in February. If you don't play from the 3rd to the 15th, maybe adding a game just kind of keep your guys in game rhythm a little bit.
No, we actually had our maximum now because we added the game this time. So it was like you almost got to choose when to add the game, either add it this time or next time. So we're gonna choose next time to use it as more rest and retooling than this time to kind of stay in game rhythm. So these are, I mean, how it go, man. These first 7 is important, man. It's like if you can finish right now, we got one loss unfortunately, but if you're able to finish like 6-1 in the first seven, it really kind of sets you up well for the last seven because usually 6-1 is going to because everybody beats up on each other. If you could get 6-1, you probably gonna have at least one game lead, if not a two-game lead or even more over the next opponent with 7 games left. You know what I mean? It's like it's always the game within the game. So it's like we know that these first seven are extremely important. So we wanted to keep game rhythm this first seven and then catch a little rest on the back end for the last seven.
Because yeah, man, you kind of like you said, you want to be peaking when it's time for that tournament at the scope. Playing your best
Yeah.
basketball, you don't want to burn them out now. The college basketball being pretty much a June to March thing. You got to make sure you kind of get it where you can, so guys aren't burnt out and they're not injured when you need them the most.
No, no question. College basketball, man, it's crazy because like it says, like you cut it short. Like you said, June to March, man. People start doing stuff again like in May. So it's like June to March. Some people start in April. Then it gets back going like in May or June, and then you back right at it. It's really like basketball's become. And I know like years ago they changed the rules to have like all these summer workouts and things like that are permissible and all stuff like that. But it's really you really making it a year-round sport. And I'm not quite sure how fair that is to the kids or even like the coaches who do this stuff because you have no time really for nothing else besides basketball, and I think everybody needs a break from I need a break from my players. The players probably need a break from me. It's like this is turned into a year-round thing now at this point.
No doubt, man. Also, like you said, also this new environment, Rob, is like every year you have a new team. It's kind of like you're JUCOing it up a little bit, having new guys every year. So talk about the good part about the June thing is the all year round that you can kind of build the chemistry with those new guys, with your returning guys. But at the same time, it causes that schedule where you don't have a break as well. But with the way everybody transfer portal in or bring new guys in, you gotta get camaraderie somewhere, somehow, some way. So it kind of benefits you there in that way at least.
Yeah. I always say, man, now Division I basketball, I guess the Division II to a certain extent too, but it's like a glorified JUCO at this point because you get like, yeah, you got the glitz and glamour of being on television and maybe a couple of extra amenities, but you really just doing what a JUCO coach does, and I think I have, I mean, I respect coaches on all levels, AAU all the way up to, NBA, but I think I've gained more respect for the JUCO coach recently than maybe I had even before, because it's like the turnover that you have from year to year. Because I mean, some years you almost have a whole new team. I mean, it's like it's no longer the days of all right, he's a freshman, he's gonna turn to be a sophomore. By his junior year, he's gonna be cooking. Senior year, he's gonna be, really good. It's like you got the kids are what they are for this year because you don't know who's coming back. From your best players might leave, your worst players might leave. Like you just don't know who's coming back, which is like crazy.
No doubt, man. You got three studs, man, having double figures, and Brian, Christian, and Jalen. Talk about these young men and individually, kind of what they mean to your team, and how happy you are with their development on the court for you, and what you all want to do, and how you all play on Norfolk State.
I mean, it's so crazy with Brian Ings and Jalen. 2 out of 3 guys are new guys, so it's like Brian is probably exceeding what we thought he was going to do. But I guess Jamari Thomas last year kind of did the same thing, so it's almost like a plug and play type thing with those 2 guys. And then Jalen is really exceeding because Jalen, we knew he was going to be good, but we didn't know how good, and he's now a double figure scorer. I mean, basically our third option at this point. So with that being said, it's like those guys are really carrying the load. And granted, we do got a lot of other guys around that 7 to that a lot of guys in that 7 point range, 6 point range, 5. So there's a lot of guys that can do something. I always say if you're averaging 6 or 7, that means there's some games you get probably more than that. A lot of times you get in double figures. So even though you might not be a double figure scorer, if you were 7 or 6 point a game, you are very capable of getting double figures. So I think it kind of puts the opponent at a situation that you can't just key in on Brian, Philly, or Jalen. You got to worry about the other guys too.
No doubt. You want to have options, man. You know what, Rob? The way you play, man, it's kind of just read and react, man. Talk about getting guys with high IQ who can read the game and do what the defense tell you to do. Because the defense going to tell you what to do with the ball. So you just got to do it and read it the right way and have optionality and not get stuck and stagnant and make predetermined reads before you do something.
But that's the thing that we always preach is that you got to be able to, like you said, read the game and react. You can't. I can't make the defense do what I want them to do. You know what I mean? I might want you to get the hell out of the way, but I can't make you get out the way. I gotta react that okay, oh he did get out the way. Now I gotta go and do something else. Or if he didn't get out the way, now I gotta do something else. It's a reaction game. It ain't. You just can't just make the defense just do whatever you want to do. You can try, but you still don't know what that defender's going to do. So yeah, you definitely got to be able to read and react. You definitely got to have high IQ, and I think a lot of that is underrated when you're recruiting a kid, and also it's underrated when a lot of times when people are coaching. I think we do a lot of drills to um, talk about IQ, and try to enhance IQ as much as we can. Some of these guys we get too late in their career, so that the IQ is going to be what it's going to be. But for the most part, we try our best to try to enhance whatever they have going on.
No doubt. You're shooting well from 3 points as well, Rob, over 35%, man. So about that importance as well, shooting the ball and spacing the floor. So guys can't just pack the pen against you. They have to come out and actually close out to you and defend. And you can blow by and get into those reads we discussed with the high IQ.
Yeah, we shoot pretty well with three overall. In conference play, we need to shoot a little better. But I think our offensive numbers have been pretty good this year. We shoot like almost 50% as a team, which is good. We shoot in over 50% in conference as a team, which is great. But I still want to turn the screws a little bit defensively. And I know it's hard to say because if you go to the MEAC stats, we like number one in defense in like mostly all the defensive categories per se, but it's still not the defense that I want to play. It's like we're like giving up too much of a field goal percentage defense. I think too much of a field goal percentage of the team. We're giving up like 40 something percent, and mine I always want to be like in the 30s. Then I know we really play some good defense. But we gotta turn the screws a little bit on that for these next 10 games.
No doubt. And also, man, I know you emphasize it's rebounding as a collective, getting rebounds, possession with rebounds, getting out in transition and get off the floor. So think about how important and drilling in and rebounding for your team is to know, hey, offensively crash the boards, all defensively get on so we can get out and get our stuff faster and with pace.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest word. I know that's the word in basketball is the pace, 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 pace. And pace is not always like shooting the ball fast. People get it mixed up. Like they think like shooting the ball fast is like pace. That's not pace. Pace is, like you said, how fast can you get the ball from one end of the floor to the next? How fast can you run your sets? That's pace, and that's what we're trying to keep doing. We're trying to, like I said, even though we're shooting almost 50% and over 50% in conference, people might think like, what are you talking about? You're actually doing pretty good offensively, but once again, it's that strive for perfection, and so it's like we want to get our pace, keep getting our pace up a little bit.
And also, while playing with that pace, Rob, you also want to value that ball, limit turnovers. I think you're doing a good job. I know you probably want to be a little bit better, but limit turnovers, valuing the ball, because when you have that ball, the program is in your hands, so you have the ball, so you have to value that thing.
Yeah. We're doing pretty well in turnovers. I mean, we were doing even better at the beginning of the season. That's what's like little disturbing somewhere because it's like, our conference is very good. Our conference is very underrated. I think, as you know, 'cause I know you cover everybody in the conference, so it's very underrated. But also, I think that we play some really good teams out of conference this year, and our turnover numbers are probably lower out of conference than it is in conference. And the thing I say is that I don't know if it's because like we feel more comfortable in conference. Like, okay, we could throw this pass, and if it's a turnover, we still can make it up or something like I don't know, like and it's out of conference that we can't do this play because it's gonna be hard to like make up, whatever the case may be. So we're still trying to figure that out a little bit, but we definitely can get our turnovers down a little bit. But it is it's a good number right now. It's not like we're flipping it up like pancakes and on the court. We doing all right just with the turnovers.
No doubt, man. I want to ask you about tomorrow's game. It's Howard. Kenny, we know he does a great job over there, man. You've had a lot about the battles with Kenny and his teams over at Howard, man. So what you see on film as you prepare for those guys tomorrow night, tomorrow at your place, man?
Yeah. Kenny has done a good job turning the program around, man. Kenny, I mean, not Kenny, Howard. Um, even when Kenny first got there, honestly, but even before Kenny got like, no one thought about Howard, man. No one like if you played Howard, like no one would be excited about a Howard Norfolk State game tomorrow. Like they was like the doormat. We used to beat them by 30, 20, 50, stuff like that. Kenny has done a good job of turning it around. Of course, Kenny won the last two championships, has been great. Actually, I guess you got two teams tomorrow that's won the last four championships in the MEAC. So that's why people are interested in that game tomorrow. That's why there's a lot of ticket sales and ticket interest that people call me that haven't called me in 10 weeks for a ticket tomorrow. And those people that call me that haven't called me, I just say, no, I don't got none.
No doubt.
I just tell them that I don't got no tickets, man. It's like that's the interest, because Kenny, he has done a good job of turning that program around, and with us right now, I think that, yeah, not that I think I'm positive that, we're the only team with a above 500 record in all the HBCU basketball. I think that Southern is like 500 at least, is only that or whatever, and Hampton is 500. So, we have like the best record of HBCU basketball. So, although that's the funny part, boss man, is that although Kenny and Howard have won like the last two MEAC tournaments, because of what the output that we keep putting out, you know what I mean? Like we've had three straight 21 seasons. People almost forget that and still look at us like we're like the champs or something, because we're like the overall consistency, there is. And right now, we are the like number one rated team, as far as like net ranking and Ken Palm and like, the rankings that matter, you know what I mean? Like for the NCAA tournament, we have the highest of any HBCU in the country. So it's like kind of like we're like the number one HBCU in the country. And I think Howard probably knows that. Even though they are the reigning champs, they're going to take this game differently because they see us as probably number one. You know what I mean? So it's like it's an interesting dynamic when you do have a good non-conference season, and people are gunning for you and things like that. That they gunning for you more than they even gunning for the champs.
No doubt, man. Hey, we talked about it last year too, man. When the coaches will come on the show, they will talk about we want to beat you, not Kenny.
Yeah.
They're talking about beating you, man. On the show, talking to me.
Oh, and when I say Buzz, that's crazy because I'm like, yeah, granted, yeah, we just won the championship 2 years ago, so it hasn't been that long since we won the championship, whatever. But people look at the body of work of Norfolk State, right? And they're like, no, those are the guys that we got to beat, because we did win the regular season last year. So we did like win. So we were the best team in the conference, overall last year. I always say that conference tournament, man, you got to be good, but you also got to be lucky too. The ball got to drop the right way for those 3 days, man. Let's just call a spade a spade. Over those 3 months, you got to see who's the really the best team is. When you got somebody like we talking about right now, gunning for you night in and night out for 3 months, and you got to come out on top. That's tough. Like them 3 days are tough too, because you got to string together 3 days or whatever. But having somebody trying to beat you up for 3 months, like you trying to get people trying to beat you up for 3 months, like stuff like that. It's like, that's a long time. But with that being said, is that the guys got to understand the bullseye is still on their back. They're still a target, and as long as like these metrics in the rankings say that Norfolk State is number one, still people still gonna be thinking Norfolk State is number one. So we gotta do one. We gotta go out and show it. That's it.
Rob, this year too, two coaches in your league have said your name before they said Howard's name already on this show. I'll tell you offline, but they have said your name on this show before they said Howard's name. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy though, man. It's like it's really like crazy because even like when we played Tennessee, right? I'm rewatching the game and I'm actually watching the telecast, not like our actual game film. So I just cut on like ESPN Plus the the replay, right? So I'm watching that and they're like, yeah, Norfolk State wins their league every year. They're a tough team, and so I'm like, yeah, we technically didn't win the last 2 years. We didn't win the tournament, but we did win the regular season. So I guess depending on what you're looking at, you can say they win their league every year because we've won 3 out of the last 4. I think 3 out of the last 4 regular seasons or something like that. So I guess I understand to a certain extent, but once again, Kenny, and once again, I call a spade a spade. Kenny is the champ right now, so go after the champs, man. Leave me alone. Go after the champs, man.
Hey Rob, how's it been to have Coach Vic come in the fold, man, and with the football team now, man? How's it been to meet him a little bit, maybe know him and see him the attention he's bringing to you all school now with him being on the football side there?
Well, honestly, I probably had a 30-second interaction with Coach Vic so far. He has, I haven't seen him really around. I know they redoing, offices and stuff like that for him or whatever, whatever the case may be. So I'm sure that, he'll be around, a little bit more coming up very, 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 very soon. He'll be around more. I know one or two of his coaches already from previous interactions, so they've been good. They want to come and sit down and have a talk. But I'm sure Coach Vic eventually will come and sit down and talk to me about really Norfolk State, because no matter what you think or what you are, you got to know your landscape right now. Like Michael Vick is of course one of the greatest football players that people could think of, and stuff like that. But now that's the NFL. This is Norfolk State University. Like you got to come figure out how to win at Norfolk State University. So, but I see some of the recruits that he's gotten so far. They look very promising. So he's on the right path, right direction. Like I said, I'm sure that he'll come in and sit down and talk to me, soon about this MEAC thing, about what to do in the MEAC and everything like that. So, and if he does it, then that's cool too. But I think I'm sure that he will and things like that. But we wish him all the luck, all the success, because there is a air of excitement about the football team right now. With him being in fold, football team, as we know, hasn't had a lot of success ever in Division One. So he has a chance to almost like create his own legacy, because there's not much of a legacy there, So he has a chance to create write his own history, and we're going to see what he does. But I think, like I said, I see some of the people that he's got so far, some of the recruits and stuff like that. So it seems like he's on a good path.
And it's cool that he's there at Norfolk State. Deshaun Jackson is a Delaware State, so kind of putting somebody on the MEAC, because the MEAC has been a historic conference. So getting somebody with those two on the football side, man, you on the basketball side with Kenny, the stuff you got going. So just talk about this, just the MEAC getting exposure, because it should be more than just us in the space we know about the MEAC, but people nationally that can't really realize what the gym, the MEAC really is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like you said, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really directly impact the basketball programs per se, because we've been doing our thing a long time, and stuff. But I do think that it puts the name Norfolk State in people's conversations, people's mouths a little bit more, with like Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State or Michael Vick at Norfolk State or whatever the case is. So that helps in that regard. That like the name is circulating a little bit more. Like I said, like the proof is in the pudding for us with basketball. You could just look at it and run down the accomplishments, and it could be Michael Vick or Michael Jordan. We still we still do our thing regardless. So, but I do think that it helps just keep the name circulating in the public eye. So now when I do, as the basketball coach, come into a room as wearing my green and gold, like, oh,
behold the green and gold.
Yeah, like Norfolk State. Yeah, okay, yeah. Even if they only heard of it because of Michael Vick or whatever the case is, now when they look into Rob Jones, look into men's basketball, they're like, oh, damn, they're pretty good, and stuff like that. So, it's a lot of different layers to that situation.
And Rob, before we wrap up, I want to give you a message from one of your BK brothers from Albany State. Coach Patrick Gale told me to tell you what's up. He's a big fan of yours. We want to big up you, when he wants me to tell you that he's cheering for you. He loves what you're doing. His fellow BK brother.
Oh man, tell what's up, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. When you're from New York City, man, it's like New York pulls from New York now. You know what I mean? It's like so, because I say that is, and I'm sure like Atlanta pulls for Atlanta, but because it's like some of these areas are so hard to make it out of. So it's like if you got somebody out there that's doing something from your area, or doing something that's close to your area, you're gonna pull for them, because you know how hard it is to make it out of some of these areas, some of these neighborhoods, some of these things like that. To make it to a stage that most people from that area or that neighborhood are not making it to. So it's always a good thing, man. So shout out to him too.
No doubt. Well, folks, that's my man Rob Jones on the Bossman Show. Tomorrow, big game is Howard. Check those guys out, and always behold the green and gold. Rob, good to talk to you, my brother.
Appreciate you, bro.